Hello, this is Tanmay, and today I'll be telling you how we are going to track user IDs in Google Analytics, Universal Analytics. So, in Universal Analytics, there is a concept of tracking the user IDs based on a random number and a number assigned by Google. So, the problem that appears in that it does not has any support for unifying the IDs or to making the IDs grouped under a certain layer. So if I am using a particular website that is using Universal Analytics on three different browsers like Chrome, Brave, and Opera Mini. So what will happen is I will be getting three different user IDs for this purpose, and I will be tracked as three different users. So what can be done here in this case is we can group these three user IDs and create a single layer or a single user ID that whenever Universal Analytics faces one of the user IDs from any of the browser, it will refer to one of the ID. So in this case, we will be first going on to our analytics section for this, and we'll be creating a view for this. Now you don't need to create a separate view by just clicking on create view here. No, you will not do this. You must have created a property, and in that property, when you scroll down, you'll have something called tracking info. So if you navigate further, you will see an option called user ID. So when you will click on this, there will be certain steps you will be doing, and then you'll hit create. After hitting that button, what you'll do here, you will be given the option of creating a reporting view name. Now I have already done this, so I'll be just explaining you. So you can pass any name that is according to your choice, and you will select the correct time zone. And the user ID view, you can turn it on, because it will show you user ID reports also. But if it is the case with your need that you don't need any user ID report, then you can just let this to be switched off. I'll suggest that you turn it on, and then you'll hit the create view. When you'll do this thing and you'll just navigate back, you'll see the name of that view will be created here. You can see I created user ID demo for this purpose, and this is what is selected here in the view options. So like this, in a way I have enabled the tracking of user IDs. Now why do we create dimensions is a very important question that needs to be answered here. So in the previous video, I showed you how the custom definitions work, and I showed you how we are going to create one. But the actual need of creating a dimension is that there are, for a certain property, there can be n number of views. Like you can see only 17 custom dimensions are left here. So all these custom dimensions will be same and constant for our property. And something to note here is all the views that a property has can use these custom dimensions. That means if the customer ID is 1234, then it will be same for all the views in that property. We created a view in our property that I named user ID demo. So all these dimensions, custom dimensions, will be same for that view. So that's why we need to create a dimension here. You can see I already created a dimension called user ID here. So in this, what you need to do, simply pass a custom dimension name. According to my mnemonics, I have used user ID, and scope is user. I have selected active here, and you'll just save it. All these things do not really matter. You don't have to change any of these things. You can just continue to hit save and move on. Now your task of tracking the user IDs from the analytics section is over, and you can do what you can do is you'll head back to the Google Tag Manager. Now, since we don't have the option to develop something right now, So we'll be following the same practice that we did sometime before. So what we'll be doing is we will be sending the user ID in the URL of our website, and we'll be capturing the same using the URL. So according to our technique of doing this, we configure a variable of type URL. Query will be UID. This will be the parameter that will be sent from the URL. And the variable name I have given URL UID. You can also create one variable. So you can get hold of the user ID that is being passed by the developer team, or how we are going to identify the user. So after doing this thing, you'll also have to modify certain changes onto your Google Analytics setting variable. You can identify this by it will have this tracking ID. You can identify this variable using this. Now you know that we added a custom dimension onto our analytics. So to keep everything in sync, we will have to add that dimension here as well. So in the fields to set, I have used user ID here. Now this I have done to just send the values, and I have passed the value of the variable that I created right now. And for the custom dimensions, I have added a row here, and I have followed the same indexing number. User ID has third index number, so I have passed on the same third index number to URL ID. That is the variable that I selected from this list. You can always use this list to pass on the variable that you created. So I clicked this URL ID. So this is a very minor change that you have to do with your analytics setting variable. And after you will do this, 1 minute, let me save it. So after you'll do this, we can just head to our preview section and just test if it is actually working. So if I go to the preview section, the tag assistant will get connected. And as previously mentioned, we'll be sending a user ID because we don't have any access to developer team. So we'll be sending it manually using our own URL. So you can see I have passed a parameter here that says and UID equal to 12321. And this is the parameter that I am trying to send using this URL. So what I'm going to do is first I'll just hit continue here. You can see the tags are fired and is successfully connected. I'll just pass this parameter and hit enter on this. So on hitting the enter key, what you'll notice here, the another summary will load up for a different session. And if I move on to the container loaded section, and inside container loaded, if I show you this UI tag. So what you'll notice, if I click this values button here, what you'll notice that I am getting the field name user ID, and the value that I passed from there is being reflected here in my Google Tag Manager. And also, since it is a universal analytics tag, it is also sent back to our analytics for generation of user ID reports. Moreover, if I show you the variables, the variable that I created, that was URL UID, you can see that value is coming here. And we are actually getting the value from the parameters that is being passed from the URL and successfully saving it in here. So like this, we can track the user IDs in our universal analytics, and also multiple user IDs can also be handled in a same fashion. So that's all about this topic. Thanks for listening and stay tuned for the next video.